Feeling fuzzy about players using their feet to play the ball? This Ruly Tuesday will flatten this foul into a facile folio. Let's do this. Hey friends, I'm Keely Dunn of FHumpires, back with a hot take on one hockey rule. In this Ruly Tuesday, we're covering the basic B foul of the hockey world. You know, the Starbucks latte, the Ugg boot, tank top, sunglasses on a lanyard, that kind of foul. Using one's foot to play the ball, or the body, of which the foot is a part. So why don't we call it body? I have no idea, but foot is probably the first call you ever awarded as an umpire, and you've undoubtedly seen a steady stream of them ever since. Rule 9.11 unfolds as follows. Field players must not stop, kick, propel, pick up, throw, or carry the ball with any part of the body. It is not always an offense if the ball hits the foot, hand, or body of a field player. The player only commits an offense if they gain an advantage or if they position themselves with the intention of stopping the ball in this way. It is not an offense if the ball hits the hand holding the stick, but would have otherwise hit the stick. The wording of the rule has passed through many iterations, which probably isn't surprising given how often it's called. Being such a popular foul, there's always been a real need to find a way to call fewer of them so we can improve the flow of the game. However, with more changes over short periods of time in our game, we get more confusion. Here are just some of those changes. Confining the review to just the last 2 decades, we have the following. In 2002, the guidance was, on many occasions when a ball hits the foot or body of a player, an offense will not have taken place and play should continue. It is only an offense if the ball hits the foot or body of a player and that player moved intentionally into the path of the ball, or made no effort to avoid being hit, or was positioned with a clear intention to stop the ball with the foot of the body, or gains benefit. Whew. The last one, it's just the advantage rule repeated. Just for review. In 2004, a foot wasn't to be called a foul unless that player or their team benefits from the ball hitting the foot or body. Also the advantage rule. Despite being nice and clear and concise, by 2007, the idea of advantage wasn't being applied as strongly as the FIH wanted, and the wording changed again. A player only committed an offense if they voluntarily used their hand, foot, or body to play the ball, or if they positioned themselves with the intention of stopping the ball this way. This rather extreme language was read in some quarters as placing an onus on the umpire to determine whether the player intended to actually get hit with the ball, not that they positioned themselves in a way where they risked being hit with the ball, as that was the preferred outcome over just letting the ball whiz past their stick and continue along its merry way. What a complete mind fart. Luckily, most umpires just passed over this wording altogether and applied the advantage rule. 12.1, just like before. Thankfully, the guidance slowed its roll and took a knee in 2015 when the wording was revised again to, the player only commits an offense if they gain an advantage, or if they position themselves with the intention of stopping the ball in this way. And that's how it reads to the current day. After that exhaustive review, you might wonder why we even have a foot rule in the first place. You can argue, as captured in the words of Sir Nigel Owens, bearer of rugby's golden whistle, this is not soccer. As such, a fine way to continue to hold up hockey as a skillful and superior game is to not let it become football, quite literally. However, I always come back to this point. It's really about safety. We can't allow players to use their bodies because if they are not actively incented to try to move out of the way, they would happily break a few bones in their feet just for the sake of impersonating a goalkeeper who is actually suitably attired for the heroic act of throwing their body in front of the ball. Let's just all stay in our lanes, shall we? In considering whether advantage is gained, there's a few things to look for. If the ball doesn't change direction much, and maintains its speed, or most of it, that's a great time to play on. Otherwise, if the ball isn't kept in play by virtue of that foot, if this happens near a boundary line and there's no one within playable distance of the contact, illustrated in these 2 clips which miraculously come from the exact same game, I'd blame the lighting if I were them. This is the very essence of no disadvantage occurring, so play should simply continue. Now, if you're umpiring this situation, this is a great time to throw your arms in the air like you really do care, but you've decided that there's no foul from that foot. I hope that makes it into a meme on TikTok or something. It's a great way to communicate to the players that you have in fact seen the foot, but you're not awarding a foul for it. Generally, advantage is more likely to be gained by the use of a foot or body when the play is in or close to the circle, as there are often more players in close proximity to each other. However, it can still be really difficult to discern the foot that disadvantages an opponent and one that actually just disadvantages the player in possession. The added pressure of video referral at the very top levels of our game is shifting our cultural norms back to a black and white application. If the video umpire sees a foot that the pitch umpire decided wasn't advantageous, they're now in a position of inserting their subjective judgment about disadvantage. And usually the people who are best at making that determination were the umpires on the pitch who saw that situation once in real time at real speed. The second part of the guidance I'll draw your attention to is where the hand holding the stick is to be considered part of the stick. Therefore, if the ball strikes the hand holding the stick, it's not part of the player's body, and so would not be awarded as a foul under 9.11.
Janssen steals it back for the Netherlands. Just lifted it. They're looking for a penalty corner. Just looking how high this ball is when it catches Howard. It does it in fact.
Not yet, not yet. Wait.
Coming in, and that's the hand of Howard on.
Now, your inevitable follow-up question is going to be, but Keely, what about balls that strike the body of the player but were dangerous? This is covered in 9.7, 9.8, and 9.9. And it's just gonna have to wait until the next outdoor episode of Ruly Tuesday. Did you find this Ruly Tuesday episode fascinating? Flick us a like, fill the comments with your phrases, and don't forget to follow us on this page or channel. If you feel these furloughs are fantastic and want to help finance them, follow your feelings all the way to FHU3T.com and sign up for an FHU Third Team Green membership for only $3 a month. That would be freaking fabulous. Ciao for now.